Hey y'all, Tristan here, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. This week I decided I was gonna try something a little bit different. I had originally planned to go ahead and do a Victorian style like farmhouse, and the whole concept of that house was gonna be based around a turret, because I had kind of been thinking about that. I had been looking at some pictures on Google, and it kind of inspired me to do that, but then I couldn't really figure out how I wanted to do it in the game, so I knew I wanted to keep a tower or a turret or something in whatever build I did. So I actually looked around a little bit more, and I found some cool like Tudor style houses and like some cottages and stuff, so I figured I'd try and get out of my comfort zone a little bit and go ahead and do something like this. So anyways, like I said, this is kind of like a little Tudor style family home. It has 2 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. It's not huge, but it's on this small lot over here in the like countryside area of Windenburg, out there on like the water. But this is not something I normally do. Normally my houses are like bigger than this, and they're like more American style, I guess. So I don't usually play in Windenburg just because the houses I build don't like fit the style of the world, but I think it's a really cool world, and I especially like this lot, and I wanted to build on it. And so anyways, we're just going through. You'll see I started out with the white trim with the columns and the spandrels and the windows and everything, but now I'm going back and changing those to the university windows. And then I was planning on keeping most of the wood white except for those windows, but then as I went on, the house started looking kind of bland on the outside and it didn't have much color, so I went back and changed the wood tones later. But anyways, yeah, I think this turned out pretty well. I mean, this, like I said, this isn't something I usually do, so I figured I'd just get out of my comfort zone a little bit. I was originally planning on using that new door that came with Nifty Knitting because I think it's a really cool looking door, but it just wasn't really suiting the style of the house. And also when I changed the wood tones, it wasn't like the trim wasn't going to match because the trim on that door is white in every swatch. And so anyways, the floor plan on this house probably isn't my best. The upstairs was just kind of odd shaped, and I didn't know how I wanted to lay it out. I kind of did this at the beginning, and then I had planned on going back and trying to figure something else out that looked a little bit better later on, but I was thinking about it while I was building, and I couldn't really come up with anything that looked any better than this, so it kind of stayed like this. And I think it's alright, like the rooms are big enough and everything, but it's just that hallway's kind of a weird shape up there. But anyways, going back, I had to change the stairs because they didn't match the floors, but we're going through putting the wallpaper down. I had a hard time choosing the wallpaper in this house just because like I didn't know what, like, I don't usually build this style of house, so I didn't know what was like normal for it. So I just went ahead and did I think it's the Parenthood is what this is from, just the paneling at the bottom and the paint. But anyways, and then I was furnishing it like this, like normally I don't, like there's only one couch and like chair combo that I ever really use in all my houses, but I wanted to try something different. So I decided to go with, I think I ended up using this couch and love seat combo. It's just I changed the colors later on so that the wood tone on those matched the coffee table I put in there. But anyways, yeah, this is where I'm going back. I wanted to use that like Tudor style wallpaper on the outside, and I'm trying to change like the columns and windows and stuff to match that. But anyways, this house, it's got over there on the left side of the house is like that kind of sunroom greenhouse thing. That's like just kind of the multi-purpose room for this house. So it's got more skill building objects than I normally have in my houses. It's got a chess table, an easel. It's got some plant pots in there, and then I think in the living room there's a bookshelf, and then at the bar in the kitchen there's a computer. I put a laptop over there. So anyways, I also usually neglect landscaping in my houses, but I like felt like this house needed it just because it suited the world around it, and also just because of how the house was shaped, there were some places where I couldn't have windows, so I just put ivy on the outside to kind of cover up those blank walls. But I think we're I originally planned to have the kitchen at the front of the house over like where the dining room ends up going, over there, like not, you'll see where the dining table goes later. But anyways, I wanted the sink to line up with the windows, and it wasn't going to because those are 2-tile windows, and the ones on the front are placed on 2 tiles. These ones on the back are placed on half tiles. So I put it in the back so that the kitchen sink lined up, because I don't like when it's just slightly off, and if I didn't do that I was gonna have to change the whole thing. So I just flipped the dining room and the kitchen. I probably should have expanded the house maybe 1 or 2 tiles more so it was deeper, so I could have a bigger dining room, but I already liked how the house looked from the outside, and I was gonna have to change a lot on the outside and then the upstairs floor plan too, so I just left it like it was, and I think it's fine. Your Sims can still get around and stuff, and it looks okay. And then as for the kitchen, I don't hardly ever use those vampire cabinets. They just because I don't like, there's only 3 swatches they come in, and the only one I could ever really use in most of my houses would be the white and black one. And I usually just use Parenthood instead for that. But I thought the green kind of went well with this style of house, and then it has the pink backsplash, and I thought that was pretty good. It added some more color in there because that's not something I normally do. I usually only use the subway tile backsplash because it's pretty neutral and it goes with everything, but I decided to mix it up for this house. But the living room ended up being pretty basic. It's got just the TV, a fireplace, and a bookshelf. And then I used that china cabinet that came with cats and dogs. I like that thing. It's just I have to size it down because I don't ever play with medium wall heights. I don't ever play with short wall heights. And it doesn't fit right, so I have to size it down, which is fine. It still looks okay. I just don't like that I can't place things on the shelf on it. I wish that it was just came default smaller, but it's fine. It looks good. But going to the sunroom now, yeah, I put a lot of plants in this house too, just because I didn't, there was a lot of awkward spaces that I needed to fill up, or a lot of corners I needed to fill up, so I just put plants everywhere, so it looked a little fuller. And then I put some bikes outside. I had that little raised patio courtyard thing out front, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I had this, that curfew board thing from Parenthood. I was going to put that in there, but I ended up deciding I wanted a mirror by the front door instead, so that goes away later, but I had it in here for a little while. And then there's that laptop I was talking about. And then I also had a hard time choosing paintings. There were a lot of blank walls in this house, and I needed to fill them up, and I had a hard time finding paintings and wall decorations that matched the style of the house, but these ended up working pretty well. And then I think I got most of them filled up. I got to use some, there was the little embroidery project things, wall hanging from Nifty Knitting. I thought that was pretty cool. I think I put that upstairs because I wanted to try and use some of those objects because I haven't built a house using many of them yet. And then I had that rocking chair and the yarn basket downstairs. Then going out back, they just got a small patio. There wasn't this lot's not big. It's only by 20 by 20, I think. So I didn't have a lot of space out here, but they got a grill, table, and then they have, I think I put a campfire out there at some point. But yeah, just going back, I think at this point I was realizing I was starting to run out of things to put on the walls, and then I realized I had this whole hallway up here to do, so I was trying to find stuff to put in there. And then I went back and changed the wallpaper in the sunroom because I wanted it to look like it was an addition after the fact, instead of just being a part of the original house, because it does just kind of stick out the side of the house, but I felt like it needed to be there because otherwise it would have just been a flat wall over there. And then just going back, throwing some random stuff up on the walls. I was just putting up whatever I could find because I needed to fill space. And then we're back in the kitchen. I had a bunch of these things. I just put them in there. This probably didn't need anything on the walls, but I like those, and I couldn't think of anywhere else I would want to put them. So I just went ahead and shoved them in there, and then I'm going back, still putting plants down. But yeah, I also had this big island, which was cool, and I wanted to have I wish they had just a stovetop, or they had a range that didn't have that stupid part on the back so that I could just put it over there, because that would have been a really good place to have it in this house, but if I did that, I couldn't have had the bar like it was, because I would have had to have like a half wall or something to cover that bump up in the back. But yeah, just sticking all the clutter around the place. I usually put a bunch of stuff in the kitchen, so that's nothing new. But this house, I don't know, this is one of the smaller houses I usually build. Like normally the rooms in my houses are massive and there's all kinds of extra space I have to fill up. So I did put a lot of clutter in here, and it took me a while to clutter it, but I mean, all in all, the house isn't like huge. I think it's a good size for how many bedrooms it has. Like your Sims can still get around, but like you're not losing them in the house because it's so big. But anyways, we're going through, yeah, it was because of where that balcony was out front, there were originally corbels out there, and so I couldn't put a window there, so there was this big flat wall over here in the living room that I had to fill up. And then it was the same on the outside. I had to go through and put ivy there because there was a bunch of big flat walls in this house that I needed to cover up. And then I changed the wallpaper in the bathrooms because I thought that other one was looking kind of bland in here and it needed some color. So I did that with the blue tile just to add a little bit of something. But anyways, I don't really have like a whole lot to talk about. I mean, I watched the Sims Spark show last night. That was good, but I don't want to like talk about that because I don't want to spoil anything or anything like that. And I mean, it kind of like most of this build was just me finding things to put on the walls or clutter to put around the place. So I mean, it's not the most interesting thing to commentate over. Because like right now I'm just up in this hallway. This hallway was really oddly shaped and there wasn't really space to do anything up here, but I needed to put something here so it wasn't just an empty room. So I kind of just did this little area with this table and chair and a bunch of plants. And then I think I'm finally about to start the bedrooms, which I mean, they're nothing too special, but I mean, they're at least more interesting than that hallway was. And so this is the master. It's, I think I kept it pretty basic in here. It's got all the furniture your Sims need. It's not like anything too crazy. I was originally gonna put a vanity in here, which I think I may get to in a second. Yeah, here it is. I was gonna put this in here, and like I think maybe there was a way to get it where your Sims could still use the room and walk around, but it was just looking kind of cramped, so I decided just to put a chair there instead. So there was a little bit more space. And then the master bedroom's the one that has access to that balcony out front. And then still placing paintings down because I have a bunch of plain walls. And then the master bathroom, it was kind of an odd shape. It had that diagonal wall, which was a little bit annoying, but I managed to get all the stuff you need in here. It's got a sink, a tub, a shower, and a toilet. And so anyways, I remember to put all the toilet paper and towels and soap and toothbrushes and stuff in the bathroom, so that's all there. And then I think, even though I did put a bunch of stuff in this house, it feels like, I don't think it came out being too expensive. I mean, it's $108,000, I think, which I mean, maybe a little bit expensive considering it's only a 2-bedroom house. So like, it's only designed to have 3 Sims. You could probably put another bed in this bedroom and make it like a 4-Sim house. But I mean, it might be a little expensive, but I don't think it should take like too long for your Sims to be able to work to get this. It's not like some of my other houses, which can get up to like 300 or 400 something thousand, and then no one would ever be able to afford that. And then ever since I started videoing myself, for some reason I've been like had all these houses where I have space for doll houses, which doesn't ever happen. Normally I can't ever find anywhere to put them, because if I could I would, because those are really useful objects, because you can get your skills up for your child Sims and your toddler Sims, and then like the adults can repair it and stuff. So it's really useful. It's just they're massive and there's not usually anywhere to put them. But the past couple of houses, it just happened to work out. But anyways, that room, I kind of based it around that bed, that university bed. I don't usually use that just because it's hard to find other stuff that matches it, but I like that yellow swatch because I wanted that to be kind of a more colorful room, and I think it turned out pretty well. And then doing the hall bath up here. That was just kind of basic. It was kind of an odd shape too because it was over there and the tower at the front, so there was that other diagonal wall. But I got it figured out. And then going out back, I'm about to change the roof color because I wanted to use these dormers. Yeah, there we go. I wanted to use those dormers because normally the houses I build, the roof's not steep enough to use them and they don't go all the way back into the roof. So this was a rare opportunity where I could do that. So I decided to take advantage of it. And then just went around, put some flower boxes and some ivy on the outside just to fill up some space. And then I think I should be getting to the landscaping, like the actual landscaping here soon. I thought it turned out pretty good. I went kind of the more like wild natural thing, like there's a bunch of wildflowers and stuff in the landscaping for this house. I just felt like it kind of matched the like aesthetic of the world around it, so I just went with that. And then yeah, here we go. I just kind of started out with this, and then I think I used those from Romantic Garden is the name of it, right? I use those flowers. Those are like my favorite flowers in the game because they're like tall and they're big and they just take up space, and I think they look good. But you saw there, I'm about to do it again. I just like did the like basic landscaping like this, and then I went around at the end and just put a bunch of wildflowers everywhere just to fill it up and make it look like there was more going on. So I just did that in those two places, and then I'm about to put a tree back here and then move the fire pit, and I think that's about all I do on the outside. I kept it pretty simple, but anyways, we're in the screenshots now. I just thought this was a cool little house to experiment with, try something I don't normally do. So anyways, let me know what y'all think of it. Hope you enjoy it. It's up on the gallery for y'all to download if y'all feel so inclined. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.